What's up, YouTube? Ryan here. I'm just going to set this up so you guys can watch me take apart the dash. We don't have any issues. I'm just rearranging some switches. So I know some of you probably thought that something was broken, but nothing's broken right now. Right now. Knock on wood. So let's sit you guys right up in here. You guys can probably hear me just fine. So here's the dash right here. I like how this came apart. This was so easy to take apart. Basically, what I did was I took my flathead screwdriver, right? And I just popped it up. It just pries right out, which is super nice. I like how easy it was to take this out like this. You know, that is pretty freaking sweet, right? So, the reason I'm taking the dash apart is because we're not going to use these three switches. I don't even know what this switch is, right? It's an air switch. These are for a belly dump, right? So I'm not going to use any of those switches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these two belly dump switches up here and move these two drop axle switches down here. That way we can just go flip, 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 done. You know? It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you guys. So let's start by taking these two switches out. So it's the two center ones. So I don't really know how these switches come out at all. I've never taken these out. And this is... I don't want to break it either, you know what I mean? That's the thing. No breaking. I don't want to break any of the switches or nothing. So it looks like I can't tell. Just trying to figure out how this thing comes out without breaking it, you know what I'm saying? I know this whole thing, if I pinch these, will go through the dash. So let's set this down like this. Can we pull this out anymore? Just trying to figure out how this works. Has anybody ever taken one of these switches out? You would think it would push through this way. Does this... Has anybody ever taken one of these apart? Does anybody know how these switches come apart? I don't want to break it. Let me check these. Squeeze the tabs and take on end out of time. Trim removal tool. Yeah, I don't have one of those, AG Tech. Nothing's wrong with the rig. I'm just switching around some of the switches. Yeah, it's not like you can just push it. Let's see. There we go. That's one side. That's probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but... I don't know if you guys seen how I did that. I stuck the screwdriver here and twisted it a little bit to make it, you know, stick up. Wait, whoa, what? Comes out this way? Well, that was easier to come out this way. Check that out. Okay, I may do that instead. Let's do that. And then I'll just unplug the back. So that just pushed through. So what these little tabs right here push in both sides at once. There we go. Okay, that was a lot easier. Check that out. Okay, so the way these come out is these right here have little tabs. There's 2 tabs. Let me take you guys out and show you a close-up. Bear with me here. I'm using my phone. Push those in and then it pulls out. That was pretty easy. Okay, so we got those 2 out. Now what we're gonna do is we need to get these 2 out. So I'm gonna put you guys back in here. Can you guys still hear me fine? Hopefully you guys can still hear me fine. Instead of taking this whole thing out though, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna take the 2 switches out because it'll be easier. Okay, we're gonna take this whole thing out. It'll just be easier. It was easier last time when I took the whole thing out. Okay. One downside to this is that is connected. The locker switch is connected to those. Weird. Okay, let's do this. So push those in. Okay, got that one out. And let's get this one out. The sucky thing is I gotta figure out, oh, okay, that just clips onto that. Okay. Try not to block you guys. There you go. Okay. So we got 1 and 2. That's how we want to do that. So I'm going to take these off. Those just slide right off one way or the other. Or this one just comes unclipped. These are the little guards. Alright, and then let's just see if we can push them through that way. Yeah. Okay, there's that. Now what we want to do is we want to take these out this way. We're going to have to take this little guard off. Sorry guys, I keep going too low. Here, let's move the camera down a smidge more. There, how's that? Is that a little bit better? I'm not going to have to unplug the wires. It is a complete switch bank. Can you show the back of it a bit better? Yeah, let me show you the back. Just so you guys can see how this works. Okay, give me a second. I'll show you how it works. For those of you that have new Peterbilts, this is how you take these apart. These right here push in, right? And that's how you push them through. You push those down and then it pushes through. And then you can see this little lip right there. That's where the guard clips on. You can see that. That's where the guard clips on. Okay. I'm going to have to set you guys back up so I can switch these around now. You should be able to still hear. Okay, so we got the lockers on the top. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take and slide these two through. Slide that through and slide that through. Okay. Now what we're going to want to do is these are the two drop axle switches, so we're going to put these through the back, pull these down through the bottom, right? And this is how we want these two, right here, just like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So okay. I guess it doesn't really matter which one has what. I'm going to slide these through this way. I'm going to slide them both through, and then we'll push them back in once we get the clips on them. I know it's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing here. My fingers are in the way. Okay, so we got number 1 here. Let's put this back on, and this goes on just like that. Okay. So that clips on like that, and then this should just push right in just like that. Check that out. And then we can just push this one right in without any guard, because you don't need an extra guard because it has them right there. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Check that out. That's pretty sweet, eh? Okay, now what we got to do is we got these other switches, which, you know what actually I'm going to do? I'm going to take these two out and move them over, because I should have moved these 3 over too and put this one over here. That way it's just easier to reach too. You know what I mean? Well, I already put this one together. Let's just do it. It's not going to take much longer to do that. Let's just do it right, the way I want it. And then you don't have to fuss with anything, right? That's the way you want to do it. Just do it right the first time. So this will be easier to do if you push these tabs in with something. Come on, there we go. Push that through. Push this one out. I wish I had like an extra hand. It would make it a lot easier with an extra hand. So one way to make this easier, here's an easy way to do this. Take your screwdriver and twist a little bit while you're pushing those down. That makes it so much easier. So much easier. Okay, let's take this one out. We're going to move all these over. It'll just be that much nicer to have all the switches on one side. What do you guys think? The switches that are most used will be closest to you. That makes sense, right? How come they didn't do that? Like, come on, baby. This one's, oh, this, that side, that's why. Okay. Try not to break anything. This plastic stuff, man. 30 years from now, you'd be better off buying a new plastic thing, because it would just crack to smithereens probably. Come on. There we go. One side. There we go. Okay, now one more, and then we're done with the bottom. Let's put this thing in here. It's gonna get in my way. Okay. Now, you just gotta be very, very patient with these things, because second you go too fast, second you start breaking this plastic stuff. Gotta be gentle with it, you know. Be gentle with her. Come on, you can do it. You can come out already. This one is fighting me. There we go. We got one side. Now, we'll work on this side. There we go. Okay. Now, the way we want to organize this one, we already said we want this one on the far side. So we got 1, 2, and then 3. So let's just put them in like this. Let's just do them at a time. There's 1. Here's number 2. Number 3. Let's untwist this. And then we got this air thing. Does anybody know what this air symbol is? It's got 2 arrows pointing to a dot, and then it says air on it. So this one, we're going to have to take this, flip this around before we put it back on, or else it would look retarded. Did I put that on right? There we go. Oh, it's on upside down. It only goes one way. So what we'll do is we'll take this one. That one. I've never done these things before. Okay. Why isn't that going in there? It's like she doesn't want to go in. There we go, guys. There we go. Now we got the drop axles. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now let's untangle this, because these are all every which way. Okay. Yeah, screw that. I'm not going to unplug that thing. These, not sure how these unplug, but you may have to squeeze down here or stick something in there. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows how to take these clips off. I don't really need to take those off. Okay. Okay, this one is done though, so we can push that back in. There we go. Look at that. That looks clean. 1, 2, 3, air. All right, let me catch up on these comments. All right, let's catch up on these comments real quick before we work on the other one. All right. Don't forget to pound that like button. It probably come out the front and have to unplug the wires. Yeah, it comes out the front. What the heck you doing, Brian? Maverick, I'm rearranging the switches because the switches are just every which way. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to the switches. So I'm changing them around because I want them to be better, right? I want them to be in the right position, a better position. Finally caught you live. Yeah, there you go, Joey. Did you see my comment on that other video? Break the new one again. No breaking. Should set the switches up to whatever works best for the new guy. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned to him about changing the switches around, and he liked the idea of putting all the drop axles on one row, you know. So, will that void warranty work, electrical? You know, if it does, I'd be really surprised. Air dryer? I don't know. That maybe. No CB in that baby. Yeah, there's a CB in here. Only way to figure out what it does is to push and see what happens. Yeah, I've tried that, DK. Nothing happens. It's weird. Gotta get new driver. A CB, it will save a lot of time. Yeah, we have a CB. It's right up there. Cobra 29 LTD Classic. That's the switch I'm talking about. That air switch right there. I finally figured out how to connect my phone to the radio, Bluetooth radio. So I was listening to my Pandora today. That was sweet. You know, every time I drive this, the more I drive, I'm like, man, should I really hire somebody to drive this new one? Maybe I should be driving the new one. But it's so much less stressful, guys, because if you put somebody in the old one, guaranteed they're going to break something. Guaranteed. It'll just be more of a headache for me to fix everything they break because they're going to break stuff. Guaranteed. So it's less headache to put them in the new one. You know what I mean? Especially if they can drive decent, you know? Let's check this out. He needs to fix a Jake brake. Yeah, I'm going to have to pay somebody because I can't figure it out. The new driver, he's coming along. I'm not 100% sure yet. He had to leave early today. Really crappy situation. I don't know if I want to put his stuff out here, but you know, I switched him out and see, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened because this is one of the reasons why I stopped working for a company and one of the reasons why I wanted to go out on my own. Let me know if it gets too dark once these lights shut off. So he called me up today at 7 o'clock, right? It's going to be too dark for me to do the switches, so we're going to have lights on, but I'll talk to you right now. And he called me up, he sent me a text message, a screenshot of his mom saying, hey man, Grandpa's not doing so hot. You know, his grandma died last week. And now his grandpa's not doing so hot. Any chance you can come by? We're all here, you know? And so he sent that to me and I was like, yeah, I can switch you out, man. But I got to get this load of gravel real quick and I got to get this culvert home. And you guys seen that in the earlier live stream. I was buying the culvert. And so I got the load of gravel, dropped it off real quick. And then I rushed out there like 70 miles an hour, you know, to switch them out. And I got there about 9:30 in the morning. I thought I was going to get there at like 10 or 11. I got there at 9:30. We switched him out. And turns out his grandpa died. you know. And luckily, you know, he was able to get there and see his grandpa before he died, you know, which, like, I don't know if I would be able to forgive myself, you know, if he wouldn't have made it there in time and his grandpa would have died. Like, how crappy would that be on me if he didn't get to see his grandpa before he died? Like, damn. You know? Makes me think of my own grandpa, you know? When I worked for somebody, dude, they don't give two craps about you, man. 99% of the time. When you're working for a company, they don't care about you, you know? Even if it's something stupid like a doctor's appointment or something, you know, they say, well, you know, when I was working for the tanker company, I remember I specifically told them like 2 days in advance. I said, hey, man, I got an appointment this time, this day. I need to be off early. You know, I gave them advanced. You know, I told them a lot of time ahead of time. The day of or the day before, I remind them. I say, hey, man, just so you know, I'm reminding you, tomorrow I got that appointment, 4 o'clock. I got to be off by 3 o'clock so I can make my damn appointment. Yeah. The day of, I'm over here hauling, you know, as fast as I can. And then I get back to the yard like, you know, 20 minutes after what I told them I wanted to be back. And then they had the audacity to, you know, waste my time. They're like, hey, I need you to come over here and look at this truck real quick. Does this look right to you? Or, you know, this or that. It was something so stupid, so trivial, you know. And they basically took a poop on me is what I felt like. It's like, dude, okay, I told you how many days in advance. I gave you so many reminders, like I had to be off at a certain time because this was an important appointment to me, you know. And you know, you can't just set up appointments, you know, all the time. And but they totally crapped on me, you know. And I don't want to be that type of employer, you know. So, you know, it was literally his first day, and I went and switched him out. You know what I mean? He said, you know, he wanted to go see his grandpa. Everybody was there to see him, you know. Could you live that down? Like, if you said, no, you're here to work, you know, and then all of a sudden he gets off home and he finds out his grandpa was dead and he didn't even get to see him. Like, could you even sleep at night? I couldn't sleep at night if I did that. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm too sentimental. But, yeah, I'm a human being, man. Let me catch up. What comment, Brian? Okay, other video. Yeah, Joey, I said, because you commented and you said that you keep missing the live streams, and I commented and I said, if you miss another live stream, I'm taking your blue wrench away. That's what I said, Joey. I was just playing around, no. But the question is, are the tag axle switches coordinated in row with the axles? Yeah, they are. Yep. 1, 2, 3. I put them 1, 2, 3. And that's how they go. 1, 2, 3. I upset my Facebook post didn't get a heart. What? What Facebook post? What's up, Cameron? Yeah, it sucks, man. I was like, dude, I'm so glad. Like, I'm so sorry that your grandpa passed, you know. A lot of times that happens, you know, when somebody's been married for 50 years, 60 years, if their wife or husband dies, they're probably not that much longer till they go either, because you cannot take that kind of heart-wrenching emotions, you know, unless you're just stone cold, you know. I'm not stone cold, so that would hurt me, man. Yeah, Joey, like, me and my grandpa are tight, man. He basically raised me. What's up, David? So many peeps. Welcome, y'all. What do you mean what do you mean you switched him out? I had my wife drive me and the kids all the way to the job site. He hopped in my wife's car and she drove him to his grandpa's house. And then I finished the day out for him. Because I had other stuff planned. I was going to be doing a job here at my property. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I just installed a culvert over there. And some, here, let me do this. There. You can see the culvert. I just installed that. I'm going to be building a little pad over there for my landlord. She's going to put a little shack in, like a little garden shack or something, you know, a little shed. Yeah, Jimmy, I think I did the right thing, you know. And here's what I'm hoping, you know. Not a lot of employers are willing to do stuff like that. You know, so he has to sit back and realize, you know, maybe he's not making the $40 an hour that the union could pay him. But guess what? The union's going to treat him like crap. You know, when he's working for somebody like me, he may not be making the big bucks, but at the end of the day, money isn't everything. You know, money's not everything. What's up, Dean? Yeah, Joey, I mean, family is number one, you know. That's why I started my business, basically, is because my family, you know. I wanted to spend more time with them and all that stuff. You'll get the spike strips out. No, we can't be doing that. I'm going to leave this on. I got to plug this phone in. Give me a second, guys. My phone is getting kind of low. Today, I almost had a dead battery. I finally bought a phone charger for this truck. Let me plug this thing in. There we go. Okay. Oh, whoever gave me the super chat, you're the man. Okay. You done the right thing to treat him right. He will work hard for you. That's what I'm hoping, Sydney. You know, when it's, you know, when you work hard, I'm the type of guy I'm going to recognize that, you know. But if you're slacking off, trust me, I ain't going to make it easy on you. I'm not going to let you get one over on me. Yeah. No, you definitely did the right thing, man. If you didn't let him go see his grandpa, he would start off having a resentment towards you. Yeah, definitely. Shouldn't warranty cover the Jake brake not working? Oh, he's talking about that truck. The Jake brake works amazing on this one. It works amazing. It works so good you can't even hear the thing almost. It is like so quiet. I seen that. I liked it, Joey. Oh, you think it deserves a heart and not a like? Okay, I'll go back and change that if I get time. Chaka Gillis probably will be his garbage. Sounds like you're very flexible. If he busts his tail, that to me would be more than money. What do you think about Justin's service truck? Dean, dude, that service truck is mint. That thing's cherry, man. That thing, I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous. That thing is sweet. That's the truck I was basically gonna build before I decided to spend my money on a dump truck. Basically. Should have a wireless charger for $300. Yeah, it should, Joey. You're right. Can I start a dump truck thing when I am 18? Justin Payton. I don't see why not. Yeah, that service truck is... It's the cat's meow right there. Alright. Let's, I don't even know how to turn the cab lights on in this thing. Wait, is that it? There we go. We have light. Okay, let's get back to, putting these switches in. Took enough break, told you guys a big story there about the whole employee thing. I don't know if he watches my YouTube videos or not, but if he does, you know, there's not a lot of employers that'll do that kind of stuff. Trust me on that. When you find an employer that does that, stick there. Stick with them. 21 unless you're under 26K. What up, Chris? I didn't break nothing yet, Chris. Knock on wood. I'm just rearranging the switches. So now we got the drop axles 1, 2, 3. We used to have 3, 2, 1. So there was 2 switches up here and then 1 down here, and it was just stupid. And I'm like, why would you put the drop axles like that? But whatever, that's how they did it. Whoever did the switches, they didn't really care about, you know, what I got going on. They just wanted to do their switches their own way, you know. So these 2 are belly dump switches. That's the back one, that's the front one. Well, honestly, I don't care which order they're in, because I'm never going to use those. Let's pull this out, and pull these out. But what I do want to do, I do want to take these 2 switches out and move these over, because these are the lockers, and we do use these ones fairly often in Washington. I don't know about you guys in other states, but we do use them here. See, that was pretty easy to take it out. Okay, let's put this on here. Okay, and then we got locker number 1. This is the inner axle lock. And then we got the locker on the back. We're going to move that one over now. Just try not to break these switches. These things are not... Some of them just pop right out, and some of them are real stubborn. Come on, just come out already. There we go. Okay. Let's put these 2 in here before I slide this one in. That'll make it easier to get them in. Okay, now let's slide this one in. Come on. Go in. There we go. Okay. These are upside down. We don't want them to be upside down. Okay. Now what we need to do is put this on this one. This one is not in all the way. There we go. Okay, now we'll put this back in. Just like that. There we go, guys. Check that out. Now I got drop axle 1, 2, 3. I got my interlock and my locker. And then we got this one. I don't know what this one is. And then we got all these extra switches up here. They're just spares. We don't know what those go to yet. And then we got the other two right there. Check out all that stuff in there. This was actually really easy to take off. So let's just make sure we put this together without having any wires getting pinched. Check that out, guys. There we go. What? Okay, let me catch up on these. Damn, Joey! Take my blue wrench. The strong arm gets the spike strip. Alright, let me catch up on these. Okay. Nice super chat, Joey. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Send me your address and I'll send you some stickers. Please tell me that Cobra CB has been peaked and tuned and has a decent antenna like Wilson Super Trucker. So I had it bench tuned by a company. It cost me like $75. And they put this antenna on. I'm not very satisfied with it yet. The antenna is... We're getting some deflection off of the antenna. Either there's not a ground or maybe the radio signals are bouncing off of the visor back into the antenna. So we have to have this short antenna on here. We tried the longer antennas. It didn't work. So we're not 100% sure what that's all about. He already been diving in deep, tinkering and playing with the new toy. Brian's going to know these new trucks inside and out with a month or two. You got that right, Chris. Dude, I already fixed... Okay, so let me finish these comments, and then I'll tell you what I just fixed the other day. You guys are going to love this one. Justin's going to have to show him how to play. He's sleeping. Didn't even see my super chat. Oh, my wife's coming up in here. What? What?
Hi.
Hi, honey.
On?
What?
Still on?
Yeah, I'm still on the live chat.
Okay.
Do I need to come in?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll see if you're still out here.
Yep. I'm going to roll the window up because I'm getting rain on. I don't want rain on my switches and stuff. Love you. We locked this door. Hey, don't scratch the paint. Don't scratch the wrap. He already fixed the light on the Strong first day he had it. Okay, so here's what I fixed on. So I just got the Strong arm back. It was just at the shop. One of the wires got pinched on the Strong arm. Just totally mashed for like about this far, and it cut one of the wires. So I had to pull the wire up, cut the outside off, and scoot it closer, and then I had to connect one of the wires inside of the pack of wires. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at what like a communications wire looks like, like a telephone wire. It's got like these super small wires in them. They're, you know, very, very, very small. It's got like 5 or 6 wires in this one wire that's only this thick, right? So that tells you how small they are. Well, one of the wires got pinched in half. And so I was able to scoot the wire up enough and strip it back enough that I could use we call it a bean, basically, is what it is. And it's basically an electrical connector. You push the wires in and then you squeeze it, and it clamps it down. They use it for repairing like telephone connections. I fixed that yesterday night. It took me a half an hour to fix that. It was a sensor, so that right there was attached. I'm trying to get this. There we go. That's a good angle. The sensor would go off and it wouldn't pressurize the Strong arm. And so I fixed that, and, you know, so it worked perfect today. You know, the Strong arm worked amazing today. There is one thing that I want to change about the Strong arm. I need to call Strong Industries and see if they can help me figure out how to change the programming or change something on the Strong arm, because the way the arm is working right now is the arm will go, the brakes are on the arm, on the tires. The arm will go down, and then they'll release. But it drags the tires for like 2 or 3 feet before it releases them, right? So it has to have a certain amount of pressure before it releases the brakes. I want to change that thing. I don't want any brake pressure when the Strong arm is going up or down. I just want the tires to be able to spin, you know? So I don't know if that's something I can get them to change the programming on, or what, or maybe it's not a programming, maybe it's a valve or something that needs to be changed or adjusted or something. I gotta contact somebody about that, because I don't like the way that's set up. Let's see if I can show you guys my fuel economy. No, it's not gonna let me show it to you unless I start the truck. I was getting 6 miles to the gallon. Oh yeah. Thanks, Joey. Yeah, that cart, man, I'm so glad I bought that thing. And then here's another thing I gotta do tomorrow. Since I'm not working tomorrow, the work got canceled because it's raining. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten the mud flaps. They're too long. I want to shorten them about 5 inches, you know. Yeah, we're going to work out the little tinkering things to get her worked out. But, oh, check this out. Let me show you guys something. So you guys seen in, I never showed you guys this stuff before, but because I didn't know how to do it. Oh, that's not the home button. Let's see this one. Is it this one? Check that out. Look at all these apps and stuff I got on here. I got settings, I got messenger, I got gallery, I got calculator, I got a calendar, clock, contacts, downloads, music. I mean, we got everything on this thing. Search. You can have the internet on here, sound recording. You got widgets that you can add to the screen. Google, alarm clock. Check this out. This thing's like a freaking computer. Anyways. So that's pretty cool, huh? It's like having a mini laptop. It's like a little iPad. I don't know if it does ELD or not. Let me check to see if there's an ELD on here. ES File Explorer, dash on. I don't see ELD on here. And it's not in the apps or the widget. It might do ELD, but you probably have to download that. But also, see right there, it's got an attachment for an external ELD. So you could probably do the ELD on that, or you could do it on the other dash. Yeah, Joey, I don't know how to fix it, man. I thought I fixed it. There were some loose wires on, you know, that go into the motor. I put new connectors on it. That didn't fix it, so. David, you crack me up. You're right, though. You're right. At that price, it should be. Yeah, you probably have to download or pay for the app. But, yeah, this thing's got GPS and everything. No seat covers. Not yet. I'm probably going to buy seat covers tomorrow, Joey. I was thinking about that today. When I got back, I blew the seat off, you know, and it was all dusty. Let me turn. Is there any way to turn off a specific light? Okay, let's do this. Let's turn on this light over here. And have it shining right at. There we go. That's better. How's that? Now we're talking. Now you guys can actually see me without that light flickering right in your eyes. Alright. Now I can't see. I see no seat covers. Oh yeah. So I was blowing off the seat and there was a lot of dust on it, so I'm definitely going to get seat covers. They're like 20 bucks at O'Reilly's. You might as well just get them, you know. It'll make these seats last a lot longer. And then when I do go to replace them, you know, I can get the leather ones. Let me see if I can turn my screen brightness up. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to see if I can turn my screen brightness up. I can't read anything. Come on. How do I do this? It's not going to let me brighten the screen, so I'm going to be up here squinting just to read these things. Yeah, no ELDs. No dump truck. Not for dump trucks. Is your plan to sell it after a certain number of miles or years or run it into the ground? The John. I'm going to keep this thing, dude. I don't see no reason to sell it. Trucks are good for 30 years, you know. And by then I'll be ready to retire. So, you know, I don't see a reason to sell it, you know. As long as you're doing the maintenance you're supposed to be doing, you shouldn't have to sell it, you know. Yeah, I don't know about fitted well, but, you know, the O'Reilly's ones. I'll probably just buy one of those. Nothing's wrong, Richard. I was just rearranging the switches. I would keep running paid off trucks until they need to sold for parts. Yep. What happened to the razor, bud? Yeah, I tripped and fell on it. Does your new driver handle the manual tranny okay? Yeah, he's not brand new at driving. He's had his CDL for probably 3 years. He's decent. He's all right. You know, these new transmissions are really tight, you know. And it's hard to get a feel for if somebody can really drive a manual when you just throw them in it and you don't give them, you know, a day or two, at least to get used to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Peterbilt finally gave me some floor mats. One of the dealers, Christopher is his name. He's a cool guy. He gave me floor mats and a fire extinguisher. Because I texted him. I said, hey, man, is Julie cheaping out on me? Or I said, is Julie holding out on me? Or is Peterbilt really that cheap that they don't give floor mats and a fire extinguisher with their trucks? And he said, oh, we are not that cheap. But Julie is, because she didn't want to give me that stuff. But yeah, man, this thing's freaking, I love this truck so far. How many years is a loan on a truck that expensive? 5 years. Was the loan hard to get being self-employed? Great questions, great questions. So John, here's how it works. My loan on this dump truck is 6 years. They don't go longer than 6 years. That's 72 months. I don't think they do loans for longer than 72 months on dump trucks. You can get 72, 60, or 50. What is it, 52 or something like that? Or I don't know. You can get all sorts of loans, but they only go up to 72 months. And so getting a loan for a dump truck, it depends on how much money you have, right? And what kind of credit you got, and a big combination of all that stuff. And also, how long have you been in business? How many assets do you have? I have a buddy, Blake. I mean, he was running into this situation where they were like, well, you don't own your house, you know, which he does, but it's not in his name, you know. There's so many things that underwriters, they just muck up everything, you know. They want to make mountains out of molehills all the time, you know. And so there's a lot of things. Like, if you have a lot of money to put down, you'll walk out with the truck, guaranteed. Like, I walked in with zero big fat goose egg commercial credit, but I walked in with 60 grand for a down payment, and they said, we're going to give you a truck guaranteed, you know, basically. So, you know, I've also been in business, though, for 2.5 years. This is my third year right here. I'm going in on my third year. 2.5 full years I've completed, and this is my third taxable in the taxes year, right? Because my first year was basically a half a year, because I started in May. Let me catch up with these comments. I can't remember if I answered all your questions. Was the loan hard to get being self-employed? No, it was easy. Fire extinguisher is needed for inspection, right? Well, you got to have a fire extinguisher in every single commercial vehicle. I think that's just part of the law. Yeah, I didn't think they could either, David. Like, doesn't make any sense. Yeah, they gave me triangles too. They gave me triangles, floor mats, and a fire extinguisher. $60, $72. There's also one term that's shorter than 60 months, Chris. I can't remember what it is. It's like 48 or something, or 40 or 52. Whatever 12 months shorter than 62 is, or 60. Yep, Red 1 Ton, you nailed it. Money talks, BS walks. You know, you walk in there with the Benjis and they want to be your friend. You know, that's the way that works. I sold the duplex, John. I sold it. I'm renting from the new owner. Yeah, 48. 48, 60, 72. Yep. 4 years, 5 years, or 6 years. Those are the terms, basically. And we went with the 6-year term because so if you want to pay less money, go with the shorter term. Damn it. Sorry about that, guys. We had an earthquake. Just kidding. Just bent that too, dang it. Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire or something. You walk in with the big bag, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of friends. Yes, you do. So here's the reason I sold it, Richard. The reason I sold the duplex is really simple. I'm building a house in Shelton, right? I did not want to try and sell the duplex and try and so here's the thing. I could qualify for a new construction loan with the duplex, but I didn't want to have 2 mortgage payments, right? So I sold the duplex so I could get the new construction loan. $60 cash out the mattress. Must be hard to sleep at night. Have to readjust. Yeah. Yeah, I don't keep money in my mattress. It's in the safe if I have any cash. But so I didn't want to have 2 mortgages at once. So I sold the duplex so I could have the new construction loan, right? But here's the problem I ran into, right? The stupid bank, the underwriters, they were like, well, you don't have 2 full years of income showing on your tax returns, right, for your business. You have two full years being in business, technically, because I started in January, but you're not showing income in your business until May. So we got to have 2 years. And so I was like, okay, if you want to be a prick about it, then I'll spend my money on something else. And I'll just, so that's why I decided to buy the dump truck instead, because here's why. The dump truck is going to make 25 G's a month, right? It's only going to cost me around 10, right? So that means I get 15, and that's if only 1 shift, right? So my thought process was, let's see, can I say, there we go, I can set you guys right there, and now you're not even wiggling. So my thought process was, sell the duplex, don't get the new construction loan, get the dump truck, and then just cash flow the house, right? And so that's what we're probably going to do. Because now the bank is definitely not going to give me a loan until they say, basically, well, now you have to show that new truck's making money. So come this January, then I can show my taxes and say, okay, well, look, it's making money. And then I could qualify again for the new construction loan if I need one. Let me catch up. Yeah, that makes sense. What happened to it, Brian? Just got here, bud. Oh, Brad, I was just rearranging the switches to make it more user-friendly. That's why you use the Second Amendment. Evening, bud. What's up, Jacob? What happened with your neighbor that wanted you to essentially stop? Well, he hasn't said anything yet, so, if he complains to the county again, I'll just move my stuff to the other neighbor, or I'll just move it down to Shelton. No big deal. Yeah, it has a cup holder, but it's got 2 cup. Well, okay, so it's got 2 cup holders, but each door also has a spot where you can put like a bottle or something. Let me show you. I'll just show you real quick. So it's got 2 of those, right? And then each side has another, you can see it right down there, a spot for a cup or a bottle. And then we keep the bottle right there, but that, it works for a bigger bottle. But it's set up just right. I mean, it's easy to grab, easy. But that's better for that right there, because I had my other water bottle sitting in there. It's got this little cubby right there. That's where, oh, that's a spare light. I got that spare light in there. Once we get this stupid GPS thing out of here, we can take this thing out and put a little cubby up there too. That'd be nice. Set you back on there. Too bad those lig. What's LIG? So how many loads have you done with the new truck yourself? Great question. So far, let's see. Last Thursday we did 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 11 or 12 loads so far. Colin McKendrick. Yeah, man, that COVID crap. It's not the COVID that's affecting anything. It's the government shutting everything down. They're just screwing everybody. You know, I wish business owners would be more like me and just, you know, work, you know. Just stand up to the government and work, you know. Just tell them to suck it, you know. But, you know, a lot of businesses, you know, they don't have the balls and, you know, they don't want to get fined, you know. So it's definitely slowing stuff down, but I've been able to keep pretty busy. Too bad those interior lights didn't change to like red as an option. I'm sure you could change them. Nice, bro. Keep stacking that cheese. How are you enjoying the new rate? So today is really the first day I got the new rate, right? Because the last time I worked the truck, the strong arm wasn't working, and so I said, you know what? Because I'm not hauling the extra weight, I'm not going to charge you, you know, what I normally charge you. I'm going to drop the rate to $130. So, but that was still $10 more than what I normally make, so that was pretty sweet. I'm waiting. There's a lot of money starting to come in. I know that. Yeah, it's the government, man. The government just is screwing everybody. Sir, would you ever be willing to get a hold of me and give me some pointers and info I may have missed? I really been wanting to get my own truck. Jacob, yeah, reach out to me, man, on Messenger, on Facebook, or Instagram. I'm slower at responding on Instagram, so if you reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, I'm a little bit quicker at responding. Or email. Some guys email me, vanduyndt@gmail.com. Man, it's coming down outside. But yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions. But here's the main thing. I want you to watch, go to the business playlist, and just real quick, just look through the titles and see if it answers your question first, because I've been getting quite a few questions where people ask me the same question. I've already answered it like 20 million times on YouTube. You know. Wish we would have more people with that mindset. Yeah, David. Nickel question. How do you handle the stress and risk of being your own? You have multiple sources of income. You have multiple bosses. So if one or two of them don't like you, you still got 20 others lining up for you. You know? So you have to ask yourself, what really is risk? Hey, I got that message, Joey. I'll get those stickers sent out to you. So what is risk? Having one source of income or having multiple sources of income? You know, that's how I ask. You know, and so another thing is, here's one of the reasons why I decided to start my own business too, is because you have just as much risk being an employee as owning a business. There's literally zero difference, just about. Because if that company has horrible financial habits, or, you know, they're in debt up to their eyeballs, you won't even have a clue. You won't even have a clue. You know, and when they go to sell the business or they file for bankruptcy, there will be a letter on the door saying, sorry, good luck to you. You know, you ain't getting no severance. There's probably no chance of that. So, you know, basically F you is what they're saying, you know. If you own your own business, at least you know what your business is doing. You can see the numbers. You can see if you're doing good or if you're doing crappy, and you need to get out there and bust your back and start, you know, making some calls. That's what my thought is, John. You know, so I'd say owning your own business is way less risky. Stressful, it might be more stressful because you are having a roller coaster, basically. I mean, it's always a roller coaster, you know, whether or not, you know, you got tons of money coming in or you got no money coming in, you know, and that's the way it is with the business. You either got a ton of money coming in or you got zero coming in, you know, so you just got to learn to save when you got tons of money coming in, and then when you got nothing coming in, just make sure you still save, you know, and you won't have any stress, man. Once you have a big enough stack of money, I got $50,000 in the bank right now, and I'd like to have 100,000. That's when my stress would be zero, right? So right now I got 50. I'm a little stressed, right? Because 50 is enough to cover a lot of my expenses, you know, for a few months. But, you know, one motor goes out and that 50 goes real quick, you know? So, you know, that's what I'm thinking. So I like to have 1 year of all my payments in the bank, you know, that is just sitting there just for security, you know. And I'm going to be working towards that. We're going to have 100,000 by the end of summer, just sitting there. We wish we would have more people with them. Okay, I read that. Just keep trucking and all is good. The so-called virus will go away. Yeah, Colin, it will. It's going to be gone real quick. I've already seen, you know, people are protesting all over the place because the government is just, they're ruining people's lives, man. And we already know this whole thing's a hoax, you know. A lot of people know it, you know. Been keeping power lines clear in the tree business, right? Staying covered up. Still working on my freight shaker. There you go, Brad. Big chicks are going to be hitting the mailbox soon. Yeah, they are, Chris. They've already started. They've already started rolling in because I worked basically, you know, I got 10 grand waiting to come in already. You know, just waiting. It's on the books, you know. You made it, John. You're killing it, Brian. Keep it up. Good things always come to good people. I believe that, Red One Ton. Yeah, Joey, I seen your message. I seen it. Does it ever not rain in Washington? Yeah, for about 6 months, and that's it. Yeah. I mean, Joey, here's the thing, you know. I feel like a lot of people can do their own repairs if they're just willing to be neck deep in mud, you know? If you're willing to just go for it, you will probably be able to fix it. If you're just willing to go for it. Because at the end of the day, everything on a dump truck was invented and made by man, right? So your brain is already designed to fix this stuff. You just have to figure it out, you know? Yeah, Colin, it's probably probably an in frame for that thing would probably be about 15 to, you know, or something like that. I don't know. See you later, Colin. You have to be willing. That's the key. People aren't willing to be willing enough in today's world. Yeah, Chris. I mean, you just got to be willing to go for it, man. It's the same with running a business. You know, just put the fear aside and just go for it, you know? And when you fall down, get back up, you know? We didn't come this far to quit here, you know? And it's like the same when I was working on that differential, you know? After I opened that can of worms up, I'm like, man, I should have just paid somebody. You know, I really should have just paid somebody. And then, once we got it all back together, I'm like, man, I just saved myself 3 clicks, you know? I just saved myself 3 G's, you know, or more. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to stay in business, Joey, if I sent my truck to the shop every time I needed something fixed. For one, I would never have time to work because I would always be waiting on a shop, and for 2, I wouldn't have the money to pay them. You are helping everyone by being so positive. Same here in New Zealand. Thanks, John. I'm hoping to in-frame my 8V71. Cost for in-frame $1,800 plus blower, compressor, pump rebuild if needed. There you go, John. I'm looking forward to hearing that Detroit run. I want to see if it sounds different than the 8V92 silver. Have I been working my heavy equipment? Not really. I took my Mini out to a job recently. It was like I demoed this concrete pad. And I just did a gravel pad over there for my landlord. Yeah, see you later, Chris. Thanks for stopping in. I just bid another job today, but I'm probably not going to get it. The guy, you know, he's got some people that are going to come do his septic system, and they got machines, and so he's probably not going to have me do what he wanted, but, you know, that's all right. I don't really need the work, or else I would have bid it a little bit cheaper and I could have got it, but I honestly don't really want to do it. Been spending my time digging out the floor of my barn, turning it into a shop for the truck. There you go, John. You want to buy my old cat motor grader? How much you selling it for, 2S? How much you selling it for? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? That's what I want to know. And don't tell me it's mint and it's been kept up to tip-top shape, because I'm sure something's broken. He needs a grader. I do. I would like to have a grader. I wouldn't mind having a grader. That'd be cool. Yeah, Ranwood parked. What's up, work life? I wasn't sure you were gonna make it, man. I already did everything that I was gonna do in the video. We just been chilling for the last 40 minutes answering questions. You just got done going over it. Yeah, you did. That's like the guy that I bought that gooseneck from. He's like, oh, everything works. The guy was meticulous. Meticulous. I show up and I said, everything works, right? Everything works. Oh, yeah, everything works. It's got a great deck. All the lights work, everything. I show up. 2 lights are missing. It's got a hole in the deck. It squeaks like a, you know, I just couldn't believe it. When I showed up, I was like, man, I just want to punch this guy. Okay, let me check up. Hey, man, just got done going over it. Working on a forage harvester for the farm. Just needs a bearing between back rear duals. I'm too lazy to fix it. You buy it cheaper when you make the repairs. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's an old Cat 14E. Almost threw out the F-bomb again. No, not even close, John. I never even threw out the F-bomb the first time you guys thought I said the F-bomb. I didn't say, I said fogged. My glasses were fogged up. But you guys thought I said the F word. I didn't say the F word. How much, 2S? That's what I want to know. How much? What's the brown, as Justin Sergel would say, what's the brown paper bag price? Honestly, I'm not really in the market for one right now. I spent all my money this year on this new truck. Spent all the money on the new truck. I got to make some of that money back. I got to make a ton of money before winter. 15K. That's actually not bad for a grader. We'll make him swear. Yeah, one of these days. Nothing's broke. I was just rearranging the switches. Let me show you. I was rearranging these switches. See how much nicer that is? They had 2 of the drop axle switches up here. Okay, so the locker 2s were right here. And then we had 1, 2, 3 of the drop axles. And then these 2 switches, which will never be used, were down here, right here. Right? So what I did was I put all the drop axle switches right next to each other. And I moved the locker switches over because we're more likely to use these than these 2. Since these, we'll never use those. So now we can just boom, boom, boom. You know? Or flip those up. Anyways, guys. Oh. Alright, it's probably time for me to head inside. It's getting late. $14 moldboard. Let's see, it's 912. 912. Yeah, it's getting late. Alright, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button, pound that like button, pound that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We got a lot of great content. I always try to make myself available to answer questions. You know, so you're not going to find that at any other channel. A lot of guys, you know, some of them will answer questions, but a lot of them don't. So, you know, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later. You guys have a good one.